Hello, it's Ryan Bembridge here at the Mortgage Business Expo in London, and I'm joined by David Whittaker of Mortgages for Business, the man himself.
Good morning, Ryan.
Morning.
Good to see you again.
So, the PRA's portfolio underwriting rules came into force in October. What's been the approach at Mortgages for Business?
So it's been a double-headed approach, one reaching out to the landlords, but of course they won't realise about it till it lands on their next transaction, and they are gobsmackingly surprised at yet another level of intervention into their market. And then secondly, reaching out to brokers as well to make sure they know how it lands with all the 37 buy-to-let lenders who are now encompassed by these rules.
So do you think it's a fair move from the PRA to introduce this, or is it just more difficulties to get used to, I suppose?
Well, certainly it's more stuff to get used to. For some of the lenders, it's what they've always done. It's a commercial underwrite, a specialist lender such as a Barbican or One Savings Bank, or our own brand Keystone. It's what we've always done. But then the great part of the market has been curiosity light about landlords. So the regulator kind of has a point that whilst we lent on what we knew we were seeing in front of us today, we didn't show enough curiosity about the background. The big question is, are we now showing too much curiosity about the background, and is this yet another lever that will bring the market to a halt? And the jury is still out on that.
I see. So you're worried that could happen then? That there could sort of a number of landlords could pull out of the market, etc.?
Well, whether they pull out, or it's whether they can actually borrow any more money until they get the leverage on their portfolio down to what lenders decide is what they want. And the whole key to this is the portfolio spreadsheet of the landlord. That one document tells us what they own, when they bought it, how much they borrowed, all that detail, and we've all got to analyse that. And that, for a lot of brokers, is a massive piece of work that's been exported into their world for them to carry out on behalf of the lenders. I mean, no, the lenders didn't want to do this. They're not signing up for this gig with any more enthusiasm than you or I are. But at the end of the day, it's exported to the broker, who then has to say to the landlord, I've now got to ask you a lot of detail I've never asked you before.
So I guess it's more time consuming, isn't it, for one?
Vastly more time consuming. Yeah. And the market hasn't yet adjusted its risk to reward return for who's carrying out the work.
Right, okay. Do you expect the government to row back on any of the changes to buy-to-let they've made over the past few years? And they've also got the upcoming changes to mortgage tax relief that's still not complete yet.
So the revenue raises are the tax changes you've mentioned, but people only feel the impact of that in January 19 when they file their tax returns. So I think that's incremental over term. And I can't see them rowing back at all. The hot topic at the moment is, will they row back stamp duty, the 3% surcharge on all buy-to-let properties? I can't see that they will. They've got used to the idea of the revenue, and if they give up the revenue there, they'll have to raise it somewhere else. So unwelcome though it is, it's a one-off cost. Landlords have taken it on board. It's unwelcome, but I guess we've sort of sucked it up and we move on.
If they had lower stamp duty, wouldn't that mean more transactions and then perhaps more revenue anyway?
And then we fall back into the same debate about whether landlords are the villains of the piece, denying properties to first-time buyers. I know there was no cogency to that argument, but that was the political argument that Osborne used on the way in to attack landlords. But what they've done now is they've, over 2 years, pulled a whole series of levers on landlords, which are adverse to landlords, and no one actually knows which lever is having which effect. So if they were to row back any of those levers, they still don't know what the effect is, because they've still got 2 or 3 other levers in transit in the market. But I don't see this government turning on anything. They're going to keep their heads down and carry on exactly as they've currently positioned things.
And I guess they're not as strong a government as previously as well.
Oh, indeed, and we could discuss that endlessly, I guess.
Right, so buy-to-let mortgage lending, was it 40 billion in 2016? Are we going to have to get used to it being lower from now on?
Yes. So UK Finance in the summer came out with an estimate of 35 billion for this year. I think that's towards the top end. We're about 33 billion, so that's a sort of 12% step down. Next year, we're predicting it will go down further to about 30 billion. And I'm doing a presentation here later today at the show where I'm going out for 2019 at a figure that starts with a 2 for 2019. I see this is still much better than where we were between 2009 and 2014, but we've had a purple patch and we're coming off the peak, and this is a period of adjustment for landlords, brokers and lenders. And do I welcome it? Not necessarily, but do I think it's the end? Certainly not.
Right, okay. Yeah, I suppose it's, for landlords perhaps it takes a few years just for these sort of messages from the government that they're damping down buy-to-let to even filter through. Anyway, right, that's it. So thanks very much for joining me. Good luck with your speech later. Hope it goes
I'm
well.
speaking in the main hall, and I hope the show has lots of brokers in the room, because it's always a good, well-attended show. And hopefully they'll throw me some hardball questions.
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan.
Well,
Good seeing you.
Right. Cheers.